But they do have a point here at City. It's only their second point in the last 10 visits. Here's the breakdown. It was certainly a game of two halves. First half, which Arsenal led 2-1 going in at the break. 5 shots to 4, 2 apiece on target. Not too much in it. City you would expect to have more possession. Look how it changed at half-time. Mikel Arteta made the substitution to bring on Ben White, sacrifice another forward player. That was the breakdown, which finished in the end 1-0 to City. 28 shots to 1, 9 on target to 1. 3 touches from Arsenal in the opposition box. Just 35 passes in the City half. City had 363 and 88% possession. John Stones with a late equaliser for Manchester City. We await Arsenal reaction. We'll bring it to you when we have it. We'll get into the analysis a little bit later. Let's just have a couple of minutes, Roy, on conclusions. What do you take from that game? What do City and Arsenal take from that game?
Well, obviously, City will be delighted with the point. You're going into the last kick of the game. Obviously, John Stones is talking about Arsenal, I suppose, their tactics, really. Obviously, that frustrated them when they got their noses in front 2-1. A lot of time wasting. And ultimately, it's cost them. You know, I think, obviously, Arsenal can be smart with that, of course. But I think they probably overdone it today. And ultimately, it backfired at the end. There was obviously 7 or 8 minutes gone on at the end. City's lack of quality surprised me in the second half for all their possession. Obviously, the stats there are amazing. But the lack of movement, lack of runs, lack of quality, really. But they kept going. But I think even with Arsenal with 10 men, I know they give them credit for sitting in and defending, they still needed to do a little bit more in possession. Because ultimately, they were always, OK, it came on late, the goal. But you always felt it was going to come. Do you know what I mean? You just need to do a bit more. You're talking about Arsenal Football Club trying to win the league titles. They've done as well against Brighton a few weeks ago. The last 10 or 15 minutes, they're almost time-wasting, settling for a draw. I just wanted to see another side to Arsenal, and I didn't quite see it today. But ultimately, before the game, they would have took a draw. And both teams, I suppose, will be satisfied with that.
How hard is it when down to 10 men in midfield areas? Because I think subconsciously, as a centre-half or a full-back, you just want everyone in solid. So when you get the ball, what are you looking for within...
Do you know what, Mike? Listen, obviously, it's difficult against Man City. It's difficult when you have 11 players, but you don't understand. I just think you just need a couple of more passes or players to win a free kick, get you a little bit up the pitch. Because, again, the stats there, that pressure, and ultimately it wasn't really lack of quality that cost them. It was just the pressure was building, a quick corner at the end, a short corner. I just think from Arsenal, it just show a little bit more quality or...
Personality?
Yeah, personality. Maybe composure, better decision-making in possession. I know it's hard when we're sitting up here and we're having cups of tea and you're obviously eating loads of chocolate and stuff, and it's easy to judge them, but I just think they need to show a little bit more in these games.
When you want to break down 10 men, you have to go on the outside. Yeah, everybody wants to. There was no, as Roy said, there's no overlap. No one done an overlap once. No one, and that's because then all of a sudden, as you get the overlap, defenders rush back, and then you can pull that ball back. You know, it was a bit like with the Jack thing there. Quick free kick, a quick corner, and as he's running, they're all going back towards their goal. They all come back, and he rolls it to Kovacic. Kovacic shoots. There was I was quite shocked with Man City. I thought they were void of ideas. But given
the start of the game, I think both of you really, from the Arsenal perspective, we're talking about a point has been a really good result for Arsenal. But in the manner that it comes, being so close to a landmark victory, is that not gut-wrenching for them?
Oh, no, of course it's going to be gut-wrenching. Of course it is. But they would have taken this at the start of the game, and it's just one of those opportunities where, yes, they failed in that state with the points, but it's the games I said which they can't afford to drop points. Yes, Brighton, of course, but your West Hams, your Fulhams, like last year, they can't afford to do that again because City won't give that opportunity. So, look, it's they've learned a lot from each other today of how working hard in a unit. And the manager would have learnt a lot from his players, the responsibility to it. But, yeah, I've got to agree. They've got to be better on the ball. As a ball carrier itself, for instance, you've got to win throw-ins up high. I would have done this in this sort of game. And that's the difficulty.
And it's a reminder as well to everyone, we look at the squad. Obviously, Grealish comes on, has an effect towards obviously doing a goal. The Stones, players off the bench, you saw it with Villa yesterday. These top teams, the influence of the subs coming on is going to be huge come the end of the season.
So it finished 2-2 here at the Etihad this afternoon. Let's take you back to the start of the action and a really good start for Manchester City. There was a selection of Calafiori at left-back making his debut in this game. Straight away, and the pressure here from Savinho, cutting inside. The weight of this pass and the finish, Theo, from Erling Haaland.
I mean, we look at Haaland's position. He puts him in doubt, and just the run behind is tremendous. But the finish, he makes every finish look really easy. I think the goalkeeper's really made his mind up so soon as well. But it's the first touch inside of Savinho. The space is there for Haaland to break, and as soon as you give him so much space, Mika, he just puts it away.
As a centre forward, it's amazing. Honestly, he makes the run, and if you watch, he looks along and he goes, and then he literally stops because he knows that man keeps him on side, and he could have easily sprinted offside, and he doesn't. If you watch, he goes now, and then he stops. He goes look, and he goes and runs sideways one step to keep himself on side, and he goes again. It's a phenomenal bit of play. But anybody else in the world would have run offside.
That is a situation that he almost never finds himself in against Arsenal.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying to Ferroy. He relishes in that. That's what the goal that we expect from Haaland. It's very difficult when he's in the Arsenal would have been in a deep block, but that's what he'll take all day.
So that was after 9 minutes, 21 minutes on the clock. When Rodri went off, he was making his first start of the season. So that was a big blow for Manchester City. Then Arsenal win a free kick, which we'll come back to City being really unhappy about the taking of it, the position, the speed of it. You can't debate the finish, Roy.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. As soon as he leaves his foot in the back line, that fantastic strike. Coming onto it, certainly not easy from that angle. First time strike from a defender, beautiful goal, absolutely. And we mentioned earlier, as soon as he left his foot, you're thinking, he knows it's hitting the back of the net. Brilliant strike.
You don't see many goals from that side of the box,
No.
so we're starting to get it back now, which is nice to see, to be fair, in those moments. Incredible goal.
Great celebrations as well from him. But as you heard, City were really unhappy about the goal that they conceded. Let's have a look at if we can see why they are so unhappy, Micah. We sort of touched on this very quickly at half-time. That's where the foul was, you can see.
That's where the foul was, yes.
That was on that dark cut strip.
The referee calls over Kyle Walker. He gets back into position, although he's sort of ambling, but not really quick. Now, he's not really set, but if he gets back quicker, he can deal with the situation. Now he's always chasing, always going to be difficult. But, I mean...
Do you think that Pep Guardiola was unhappy because, as Kyle Walker is telling Michael Oliver, I didn't have time to get back in position? Or is he frustrated that Kyle Walker didn't get back into position quickly enough?
I think it was a bit of both, really. But it's very difficult, isn't it? Because when you're going at that pace, you know, within the game and whatnot, you're ambling back, you're looking around. You're not ambling back just for the sake of ambling back. You're ambling back to see what's going on around you. They take a quick free kick and then you're on the back foot. That's why it's a difficult one to see exactly what's going on. I don't know if he was getting some information from Pep, but it was just odd situation. I feel a little bit sorry for him, like I said at halftime, because especially against Arsenal, you want to be set. You want everything in front of you. You see, he's back in position. Because a lot of people will say, OK, well, he is set. He's back in, but he's not set. There's a difference between your body shape. So when you get back in, you're ready for what's to come. If he would have been in the situation where he would have been set, then it would have been a little bit different. But he could have ran a little bit quicker.
Don't you think there, though, like, he's virtually done his job, hasn't he? In a way, do you know what I mean? Because it gets rolled back to the edge of the box, so he's sort of half done his job. If you'd have said, if he doesn't score there, I would have gone, good play by the fullback. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing is, he's up against Martinelli. If we're talking about maybe a Trossard on that situation, he gets back.
But he's done his job now, when he look.
He's not beaten him. He's not got to cross it.
Yeah, that's what I can't... Do you know what I mean? Do you think Silvinho has to have trust in Walker to not come back that far? Because he's coming back to double up and you're thinking... Walker's one of the best in the business.
Walker, who is an experienced professional,
he's
he's played for England on numerous occasions, right? You get in position as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Even a Kanji or Diaz, you get back. One of those, take responsibility because, you know, you're Man City, you're playing for them. You need
And even
to be
when
able to be in
Walker's
shape
called
at
over
times.
to the referee, maybe one should say, well, he looks like he's getting tied up there. I'll just come across and help him while he's having that little chat. Listen, but I think as it ends up in a goal, that's why he was obviously so frustrated.
So Arsenal back in it. Did we then, Theo, see why they are just the supreme side when it comes to set pieces?
Yeah, I said this before. They dominate set pieces, and it's not. You know, it's a given now. It seems to be. And they practice
fancied him
every
to
day.
score here, didn't we?
We did. Again, it was the warning signs, which have been numerous occasions throughout the whole season. But again, they work on it every day. And again, he's isolating Kyle Walker, trying to put him off.
As you said at half-time, they make that switch. It was Doku trying to block him. Then it was Kyle Walker, who fared no better.
But he's always going to win this header because he's got to run on people. Listen, I'm not sure what Walker's doing there. But I think the goalkeeper's got to do more. I think the goalkeeper's got to dominate that area.
But Arsenal are so smart in the,
look at
the way they put their players in positions. Look,
But how
Ederson's
come he's
gone
getting
down
knocked
like
over?
he's...
Why isn't he knocking people over? The goalkeeper's...
I agree. I totally
he got a
agree with you.
warning 3 or 4 minutes earlier. So the goalkeeper, you always see goalkeepers chatting with the goalkeeper. That's your domain, that's your area. So somebody comes into your area, be ready. I've always said, goalkeeper coach I work with years ago, come with violence.
So
Come
you're
and hit
saying to your
people.
keeper to take a different sort of
Hey,
starting
just
position?
step back. I'll be on your toes. I look at people and say, if you come anywhere near me, hey, I'm taking the ball and I'm taking you with me. So let them at least have a little bit of hesitation. Because it happened twice. He's always going back to it instead of coming back and going, I'm ready. He's not even bouncing. He doesn't even look aggressive. So if people are coming near him, he should be grabbing them. He should be almost stepping on them. He should be almost, not stamping on their toes, but going, do you want to come here near me? I'll tell you, let's see who wins this battle. Hey, remember, he can use his arms. Come and
As
punch
well,
it.
we saw how big they were down there, right? The
They're
Arsenal
big guys, yeah.
They're big guys. So you need to be able to put
Just wonder how
someone...
easy, if it's easy said than done, Roy, when you,
Oh,
when you
I'm
see
not
these
saying it's
sizes
easy.
people
I'm
around
not saying it's easy, but they've got to do something about it. But if the goalkeeper's in there, and he's a top-class goalkeeper, and we're talking about shop stoppers, but it's commanding your area. Get people where they're supposed to be. And as I said, it's just about cases of looking at somebody. If there's somebody coming for a ball, you can use your arms. And I know these lads have a run you, but you can use your arms. Come and punch it. And take the guy's head off if you have to.
Well, what was really interesting that our analysts have spotted was the setup. Top and bottom is the chance, which Gabriel almost scored from, and the one at the bottom, which they did. It is identical, really, apart from Doku and Walker switching. And just roll it on, and you see how the goalkeeper gets sort of trapped by these bodies, and then at the back post.
But they would have done their homework on this. They would have said to the goalkeeper, they're going to try and block you, obviously. But he's got to be ready for it. He looks as if, I'm surprised at this. I've not seen this before. You know a player's going to get in your way, but you push them out of the way.
But to be successful in these moments, do you also need that pinpoint delivery? We didn't sort of point out that ball is landing in almost the same position from Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, he does do it, but it's the people that get on the end of it. They can all put the ball in sixpence, every one of them. It's what comes in. You know, he comes up, he wants to win, he's pushing everybody out the way. When you look at that, Haaland's the biggest player on the pitch. He's out the equation. Him and Akanji at the near post. It's never coming to the near post. You're better if you're Haaland being at the back where you can come and attack the ball. You know, you watch Man United play, they put Maguire in the middle of the goal. Put the middle of the goal and he heads 75% of every corner away. You know, Haaland's there. Everybody knows where it's going to go. It's only going to be Gabriel or it's only going to be Saliba. They're the only two. It's not like everybody's scoring. So just make sure you isolate them too. But they're not. You know, Haaland's at the front post. It just goes over his head. He's 6'4", 5".
But you're saying that, so Arsenal obviously are attacking it and they're pushing City players out of the way. So why are you letting them push you out of the way?
And he's your biggest player, though.
But you stop.
Haaland. You're not going to push him.
You try and stop the first run, obviously. You try and make him slow down his run. But this is the idea going, well, it's just a good ball into the box. You do nothing about it. Well, just give him have a free header every week.
Yeah, but it has to be some ball to go over Haaland's head, doesn't it? I mean...
Not from there, not where he's not there. Not where Haaland is.
No, I'm just thinking of why you would want to put Haaland at the front post. Because
yeah.
That must be the only reason. It's got to be a hell of a ball to get over Haaland.
If he goes to the back post, then you're just going to stick it to the front post anyway.
Well, not really. It's a bit harder to come. If you're a centre half, you want to be coming and attack it in the middle of the goal or the back. Anything at the near post, centre halves ain't going to get in front of another centre half and glance it in the far corner. They're just not. That's not their game. They want to come up and bang.
It was a tetchy game. There was a collision right from the kickoff, if you remember, involving Rodri. And then just before half-time, we saw the red card for Trossard. This is the first yellow. Theo, any complaints here from an Arsenal perspective?
Not at all. I've done this before in the past when a player's got away from me. I have to put
you
them back
expecting
for the
a yellow
units.
card?
I'm expecting a yellow card here because players know about this rule. At the start of the season, they always have this. You pull a shirt, you're always in danger of getting a yellow card. It's now when you have an experienced player like Trossard, and what's happened at the start of the season with Declan Rice is this incident here. The whistle does clearly go before, and I think maybe Trossard, if I'm playing devil's advocate here, he's noticed that Martinelli is exposing, I think, Kyle Walker, and there's a lot of space, but look,
That could be yellow in the barge into him, couldn't it? But you know what happens? We're in here and people say, we'll probably have to listen to it all week. We say, let me see it again. What do you need to see again? We played again.
So what's your instinct then, looking at that?
No, well, I'm just saying, if you're on a yellow card, I've said it before, and listen, unfortunately, I had a few reds. And if I was on it, you try not to give a referee a chance to give you another yellow.
Yeah.
He's given the perfect opportunity to say, well, obviously you barged into somebody, and he has kicked the ball away. It's not even a debate. You don't need to watch it 30 times. He's wrong. It's a second yellow, And it's the height of stupidity.
You got any defence?
No, because Trossard's a good footballer. He's got a good brain. If that was in real time and that was a game, he side foots that ball out to Martinelli. He doesn't just kick it with his laces. He literally side foots that out to him.
So you think that he knows what he's doing? You think that this is the fair cop that they've had 2 red cards already this season for delaying the restart, Arsenal?
Yeah,
in 5 games.
He's heard the whistle and he's kicked it. He knows what he's doing. He knows what.
So
he's
does
doing.
there need to be then a message from the manager now?
Look, it reminds me of the incident from Van Persie, at Barcelona, the Nou Camp when he kicked it. Van Persie's quality, he knows, he shouldn't have done that. He knew what he was doing. I got to agree, Trossard knows what he's doing. He needs to be careful. I don't feel like it would have stopped the quick free kick. Of course, Bernardo Silva's down on the floor, but you need to learn your lesson, and I think hopefully now they're going to learn it. But they're frustrated about the one, obviously, previously with Doku as well. That was the problem that they had.
I just think, what
do you think?
Where's the game going? I mean, it's common sense. Yeah, he's kicked it. I agree. He's kicked the ball away.
Yeah.
It's a sloppy yellow card. It spoilt the game because the first half was brilliant. Second half,
Whose fault is that?
Well, obviously it's his fault. But I mean, in a big game like this, you just want a little bit of common sense, don't you? Because if you look at the Doku one, Doku kicks the ball away, and he doesn't get anything for that. So we're talking about consistency. Again, we're looking at him and saying, well, how come he's getting a yellow card?
That's different. I don't think that's the same.
OK, well, what about the Rice one? The Rice one a couple of weeks ago.
Well, let's talk about the one from today instead, the Doku one.
Doku's obviously claiming and if you look with the referee, when he stops at the referee.
Right, well,
But look where the referee's pointing, right? But wait a second, the referee's pointing,
there.
the free kick's back there. I know, it's only a few yards. But he's not kicked. So, he's only knocked it back, he's not booted down the pitch.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, common sense.
Declan Rice only
don't
booted
think
the
it should be a
ball
yellow
2
card.
yards the other day. Literally 2 yards away.
Yeah, I don't
Declan
think
Rice doesn't
how
have to be
far you're
sent off
kicking
if
it.
you
No
miss
matter
it.
how far. I mean, he knows
He's
what
talking
he's
about
doing.
where the
Look.
free kick
If you're
is.
delaying it, are you? No matter how far you're kicking it. I don't know, you tell me.
We are telling you.
Yeah. Look, I think the referee, like you say, he's clearly pointed. It's not for me.
Fair comment. Mike has said the red cards spoilt the game in the second half. It was certainly one-way traffic, and it was an interesting Arsenal approach. And this is sort of what it became, this sort of chess match of City with the ball, knocking it round on the edge of Arsenal's box and them trying to snuff out any chances. By and large, did it work for Arsenal?
Do you know what? It did, because I felt like Man City just got a little bit bored, to be honest. And when you're shooting from this distance, you're asking players like Kyle Walker, who has had maybe one in a few years, but look, he's shooting consistently from outside the box. Diaz, with the amount of touches as well, again, asking people to shoot outside the box. Arsenal will happily do this all day. Of course they will. So they did their job, but like Meeks was saying there, they switched off right at the end where it mattered. But look, they limited City to scraps, and as well, it was quite
The lack of movement
boring.
was unbelievable.
Yes.
We were all sitting there watching them. We couldn't believe it, because obviously we all know how brilliant Man City are. They're passing, they're probing, they're challenging in different ways, but they weren't so predictable. I couldn't believe it.
The question, I suppose, that they were raising in commentary, Jamie and Gary, was who are the influential players of City on the edge of the box? And actually, the most 3 touches came from Diaz, Walker and Akanji. Walker actually had 4 shots from outside the box. Diaz had 4 shots from outside the box. I suppose that, from an Arsenal point of view, that's great. That's what you want, isn't it?
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. I mean, when we talk about defending and organisation, yeah, whether you agree Saliba and Gabriel had good games or not, it's the fact that there was organising. You see, when the ball was going up, they was going up together. They've got help from the midfielders in front. Partey and Rice did really well. Timber, I thought, was outstanding today as well. But they're forcing the ball. Why? You cross the ball into the box. We'll deal with it. That's the whole point. When you're doing drills in training, OK, where can you be hurt? In the middle of the goal. Arsenal did it perfectly. Just usher it, OK, you deal with it. Crossing coming, you can shoot from 30, 40 yards. We've done our job. If you switch off for a split of a second, you know you get punished. And that's why I think, not just a centre-half as well, I think in the second half for Arsenal, it was a really good defensive performance. Yes, in the last minute, you know.
But Man City deal with that most weeks, where teams are obviously sit in. Not as deep and probably in as smart as Arsenal. And they were forcing it wide. But what Man City are usually good at, I know you want us to force us wide, but we're smart enough we'll go where we want to go. That's why you've mentioned they're one of the best teams ever. they'll dictate to you what they're going to do. But it was the Arsenal, to be fair to them, who had that set up. And we're on about getting... They just had people behind the ball and the right positions, and they were forcing them wide. But the surprising bit was for us, when you're forcing them wide, you're going, well, that's where you need overlaps or underlaps or third-man runs. They were just so predictable.
But they did have the quality from the bench in Grealish and Stones.
Well, this is why they win the league every year, because their substitutions, their squad's unbelievable. It's the way Jack does it. He does it so quick. And this is what I was saying. Then he goes and attacks. So all the defenders drop back, and then when they drop back, Kovacic just stands on the edge of the box. You watch. He gets it now. Now they're all going back. They're going backwards, and then. You know, they never had that once in the whole of the second half, where if they had an overlap, they would have got that. Because then the fullback, but he even nearly saves us the goal. He's not even looking. Look, he puts his leg up. I mean,
He got cramped here, I think.
yeah, he's unbelievable.
Cramped, time wasted.
We would have been sitting here saying it's one of the best 45-minute defensive performances you'll see in the Premier League. You know, you're talking about one of the greatest teams of all time, not even look like really scoring. But in the end, they didn't, and we sit here and they didn't do it.
It wasn't the end of the chaos, though, Paul, because I don't think we've seen these pictures yet. There was a little bit of a tangle after the goal, and perhaps we can shed some light on why that was. Here's Haaland with the ball in his hand. Oh, bump.
No,
Oh.
that's not good.
It goes at Gabriel's head, who's obviously been fighting like mad to try and keep them out, and then that happened from the restart as well.
But you know, it's nice to see a bit of needle as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. There's a little bit of needle. You know what I mean? They're two competitive teams.
that.
No, you don't want someone throwing the ball at the back of your head. I don't mind that bit, but someone throwing the back of the ball.
No, I'm talking about this bit. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah, I
talking
don't
about
mind
the ball.
that. I'm fine with this.
Obviously,
Do you feel this game has changed from what we've seen today? Not just on the pitch as well, but on the touchline. There were moments as well between the two coaching staffs coming together. Is this game becoming
good.
a real proper rivalry now?
That's what you like to see. Now, you need that little bit of needle because City know Arsenal are trying to hunt them down. And the more you dislike a team, there's always a bit of respect there. And no, I love seeing that. I think that adds to it, adds to the game. We obviously know the quality players on the pitch. A bit of needle, we've seen it a few times there. Love it.
I've got to agree. I mean, the rivalry we spoke about yourself and Patrick before, which was everyone loves those moments.
He used to try and bully me, Patrick.
Just about, maybe.
Yeah, retaliation.
And we're starting to see signs of that again because of the... I mean, there was a little bit of frustration maybe in some of the players as well, and hunger and determination and just the pride they want to do for the fans as well, because they've come out here in this rain and they've literally not stopped singing and support their team for 10 men. So, I mean, point is, I'm pleased with a point, put it that way.
Any criticism for Erling Haaland in those moments?
well, the ball in the back of the head's not good, but all the needle stuff, and no, that's what you want. You know, he's up against two centre-halves who have had the better of him over the last couple of games. He scored today, he's happy. You know, that's the difference, no?
Yeah, well, the best way to shut people up is by scoring.
Exactly.
He done that today.
10 for the season already. He's the fastest player to 10 Premier League goals. He's done it after 5 games, and that's 100 goals now for Manchester City, which is just extraordinary, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Honestly, he's so clever. He is so clever. People say, oh, he don't come and join in the play, and he's not. But his brain going forward and his runs and his finishing are off the charts. They are off the charts. He's phenomenal I don't think he gets the all-round respect. We talk about your Harry Kanes, and Harry Kane's a great player. But there's no one like this man. There's nobody like him. I was on the pitch early, he walked past. He's Gulliver. He's like 6 foot. How big he is. He's as quick as everybody else on the pitch. But his brain, honestly, his run. Everybody else runs offside there. They get excited. They run off. He just looks at that defender and he goes, "As long as I'm not in front of you. I'm on the side." And he just takes one step to the side and then goes again. It's amazing. Then he just calms himself down. You know, to be that big, that quick, and then just to go that cool and then slide it in. Yeah, can't talk highly enough of him.
Well, on that subject of what should we call it, game management. We asked Opta to clarify how long the ball was in play for in the second half, and the response was 35 minutes, which is the most of any half this season, which was probably quite surprising, but maybe that's, I don't know, because the ball was in play so much and it was just City knocking it from one side of Arsenal's box to the other. Do you think the game management was a feature in that second half?
I mean, it's got to be. You have to literally use every tool in the sort of box, really. Arsenal had to do what they did. Like I said, the issue was switching off. There were signs of it with the short corners that Man City were taking. They wanted to get the ball into play as soon as possible, not to give Arsenal breathing space. Arsenal could only do that, was to slow the game down, go down with cramp, I suppose. But look, it managed to bite them back in the backside, to be honest. It really did. And it's a shame, and it was a shame that we got, of course, it was a red card. But look, they still got to be very proud of that performance, to go away, particularly having that midweek game. You know, a lot of them played a lot of football, a lot of travelling around to come against one of the best teams in the country right now. It's a good result.
Wouldn't
it really is.
Wouldn't it be good if a manager came out after a game and just say, yeah, do you know, he was a bit silly and it was a yellow card? Every manager's coming out every week now going, no, it wasn't a foul, it wasn't this, something happened 5 minutes earlier. Just come out and be big enough and say, do you know what? Players do daft stuff on a football pitch. We're not about to send it off. And even Arteta there, come out and show a bit of class and go, do you know what? Yeah, give the referee a chance to send him off. We're disappointed, but we move on.
Narrative against his team building, Roy.
I get a bit of that. I get a bit of that. I get that. He's obviously going to come out and fight his corner, but just every now and again, come out. And I just don't mean Arteta. Managers every week are coming out going, every decision's against him. Just come out, even today, because deep down he'd be satisfied with a point. We said he would have took that before the game, and he mentioned he was proud there, the usual 2 or 3 times of his team. But just say, show a bit of class. Manager of Arsenal, go, right, he probably deserved the yellow card, but we reacted well. We're Arsenal, we're a big club, we'd move on quickly. And that's the end of it. But they're constantly saying, no, it's a disgrace. He said as well a few weeks ago about Rice. Take your medicine, show some class. Your team did well today. You are proud of them, but managers are proud of their teams every week, no matter what the result is. And move on. Show a bit of class.
But he thinks it is a disgrace, doesn't he?
Sorry?
He thinks it is a disgrace, what's happening to his team. Whether we agree whether it's right or wrong or not.
He thinks that. I'm not. I don't think so. I don't. You know, the rules say don't kick the ball away. They say it. They're not making it up as they go along. It's not like the refs go, oh,
less than a second.
But that's what we're playing with. It's the Premier League. It's 100 mile an hour. That's why we love this league. You know, if Haaland runs forward in that second, he's offside. But he doesn't, and that's that second. It's that second. He runs forward, he's offside. He takes that second to go sideways, he stays onside. This is what we're playing with. These lads are like a lightning now. They're all quick. We're playing on seconds. And that's it. You've got to be alive. You're a professional footballer. He knows what he's doing. He's fouled the lad, and then it bounces down, and he kicks the ball. You know, I've seen Trossard play. He's a good footballer. He'd have side-footed that ball to Martinelli. He wouldn't have just kicked it away. They know what they're doing. We're working in with seconds. This is a quick foot. This is why we love the Premier League.
And as a player as well, you know you make fouls. You made a foul.
Yeah.
He could have been
Look at Martinelli.
for the foul.
He could have been booked
Look at
for the foul.
Martinelli.
And he would have known he'd fouled
He's gone
him.
down with cramp, and the ref went play on, and he got up and run and chased the lad down. I mean, you can't get cramp and get up and run off.
I do worry about their goalkeeper, though, the Arsenal keeper, because he picks up a few injuries along the game, doesn't he? And he gets treatment, and then he gets up. He obviously gets that magic sponge. So that's pretty good, yeah.
Some magic in that sponge. There's some magic in that sponge. Thankfully, that's all we have time for. And here, after a pulsating first half, very strange second, in which City found a late equaliser, it finished 2-2 in the race between those 2 title challengers. We'll see you next time.